Mr. Ashok Chawla, Chairman of TERI. And then Dr. Ajay Mathur, Director General. And Mr. Amit Kumar, Senior Director, Social Transformation, TERI. And now I'd like to invite Mr. Chawla to share his thoughts on the summit. Sir.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, all good things have to come to an end. If they didn't, there wouldn't be good things. Over the last 4 days, we have witnessed dialogue and intense discourse on every possible aspect of the sustainable future of our planet. We had the honor of the summit being inaugurated by no less than our distinguished President, Shri Pranab Mukherjee. We've had participation from 22 countries by 5 ministers from across the seas and 6 Indian ministers. The presence of delegates from both developed and developing countries is an expression of shared concern for the threat of climate change and the keenness to cooperate. The world today has a level of aggregate prosperity never seen before. But it also is a world where disparities are greater than they have ever been in the past. What is more frightening is that it is a world whose very existence may not be sustainable. The year 2015 gave us pioneering tools to deal with these challenges. The Sustainable Development Goals give us enabling opportunities to improve the lives of some of the poorest communities and the poorest regions in the world. The Paris Agreement takes us to a new era of optimism and international cooperation to limit the rise of global temperatures to well below 2 degrees Celsius. Ladies and gentlemen, while the summary of proceedings will be presented to you shortly, I would particularly like to draw attention to the exhibition named Greennovation. This showed remarkable innovations from all over the world on energy efficiency, on water, on renewable energy and sustainable urban development, and was a window to actual work on the ground. And actual work, if I may say, is the key to the implementation of the agreed roadmap. The summit, which comes to its conclusion today, has placed on the table many constructive ideas and action points. I hope, and I'm sure that in the future editions, we will be able to come together and monitor progress on our actions, share lessons learned, and find ways of adapting solutions for local communities wherever they may be. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chawla. And now the unenviable task of summing up these 4 extraordinary days falls to Amit Kumar.
Let's see. Chairman TERI, Mr. Chawla, Dr. Mathur, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. So 33 thematic and plenary sessions, over 290 speakers, including, as Mr. Chawla said, 11 ministers from India and overseas, over 2,000 delegates spread over 4 days, and over 30 hours of discussions. And this is what I am tasked to summarize. Some task. So what instead I would like to do is to make an attempt to capture the essence of the discussions and the kind of messages emanating out of these sessions and discussions. Now, WSDS has been conceptualized as a single platform to accelerate action towards sustainable development and especially climate change. The WSDS brings together policy, technology, community practitioners, helping to share experiences and building new partnerships. WSDS 2016 focused on actions on accelerated implementation of SDGs and NDCs. Setting the tone, Honorable President of India, Shri Pranab Mukherjee said, and I am quoting, "Global action built on partnerships is required to achieve sustainable economic and social progress, inclusive growth, and protection of Earth's ecosystem. This collaboration between governments, private sector, academia, and civil society will be a vital source of knowledge, innovation, expertise, and solutions in tackling the twin and interlinked challenges of development and environment." Quote complete. Pointing out the significance of WSDS, it was highlighted that WSDS is the first important event post two major global milestones, namely adoption of SDGs and Paris Agreement, and back-to-back India's ratifying the Paris Agreement. Recognizing the leading role of businesses, WSDS started with the Business Day, wherein three challenges to sustainability journey were identified, namely behavioral changes with innovation, appropriate regulations, and sufficient capital. It was emphasized that both civil societies and businesses should work together to achieve SDGs. The areas of cooperation included product development, early demonstration and adoptions, and demonstrating implementation through business models. What also emerged strongly was that it is time for companies to think beyond CSR and consider how to make investments more systemic to contribute to SDGs. In fact, the repeated emphasis by businesses leaders was about aligning their businesses and business models with the opportunities presented by sustainable development and addressing climate change. In a significant statement at the WSDS, Mahindra & Mahindra announced that it had decided to impose an internal carbon price of $10 per ton CO2 on all its investments. The fact that companies that take the lead will benefit from being early movers was also reiterated. Interestingly, peer-to-peer learning and exchange of knowledge was deemed to be very effective tools to solve the issue of climate change and sustainable businesses. The 4 days of discussion among different stakeholders clearly established that sustainability should not be a peripheral activity, but should become a mainstream movement. Regional cooperation was identified as an area that can significantly contribute to sustainable energy transitions. Similarly, proper monitoring of progress, challenges, and failures can help in early feedback and course corrections, enabling evolution of initiatives and build consciousness for the sustainable development process. The role of banks and financing as catalyst was underlined very clearly. 3 key elements which require immediate attention of the financial sector were identified, and these are risks associated with climate change required to work towards a low carbon pathway, and the issue of internalizing externalities. Time and again, there was reiteration of the fact that there is no contradiction between sustainable development and economic development. There is a need, therefore, to decouple economic growth from resource use. Resources used efficiently and ways to produce product strategies were identified as being crucial for businesses to take business advantages of sustainability. However, there is a need to build a regulatory framework, enable appropriate carbon pricing, and develop instruments that mitigate risks in investments. In order to hasten the process of achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, it was felt that they must be entrenched in all policies and strategies of the governments. It was also pointed out that implementing the SDGs is not about trade-offs, but about maximizing collaboration and opportunities. Rapid urbanization being inevitable, it was recognized that urban centers are key to achieving SDGs. As a corollary, it became imperative to address the root causes of issues like transport and air quality that was vital to identifying sustainable solutions. Indeed, SDG 11 links all the other 16 SDGs. It was felt that meeting sustainable development goals is critical to improve the everyday lives of all citizens. There is a recognition that it cannot be done without the active participation of people in their roles as active citizens, as decision makers at work, or as households. There was a universal concern on the lack of quality data and the availability of right tools that are essential for scaling up of green solutions. Moving from retrospective to prospective, changes were envisaged the way we use transport. Thus, the most likely scenario would be about not owning personal cars, but sharing electric cars. The Internet of Things was seen as a key enabler for the energy transformation. On the water-oriented SDGs, a global water governance platform was mooted to give impetus to better cooperation among the water-sharing countries and states. It was also pointed out that forestry has not been given the due attention it deserves. To overcome energy poverty of Africa's population, it was re-emphasized as to how critical is South-South cooperation. Underscoring the status of WSDS, the platform was used to put the formal seal to cooperation between the Government of India and the European Commission on water, and to move ahead deliberations on International Solar Alliance, leading to, hopefully, its adoption at COP22 in Marrakesh next month. Lest one of the most crucial dimensions is missed out, we were reminded that gender mainstreaming was an essential part of sustainable development. For accelerating the action on SDGs and on climate change, it is necessary to forge collaborations. Collaborations among countries, collaborations between national governments and states, right down to the local bodies, collaboration among governments and businesses, collaboration with research institutions, collaboration with civic society and communities. It also came out very clearly that sustained hand-holding at different levels is needed. The message was loud and clear that time for debates and deliberations is over. Now it is time to act for Earth. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And now we come to a very special moment, announcement of 2 awards. And first up, we're going to announce the winners of the Young South Asian Researcher on Sustainable Consumption and Production Award 2016. Now, these awards follow a 3-day symposium for young researchers on the theme of sustainable consumption and production, which, of course, is absolutely key part of the Sustainable Development Goals. The symposium was held at the Terry University in collaboration with the UN Sustainable Development Solutions Network, the UN Environment Programme, and the EU-funded Switch Asia Policy Support Programme. We have 3 awards for the 3 best research papers presented at that symposium. The awards are made on the basis of their papers' links to sustainable consumption and production targets, the originality of the presentation, and the quality of the research. And I'd like to invite each panelist to present one of the awards to each of our 3 winners. And first up, the first winner is Dr. K. Sudhakar from the Maulana Azad National Institute of Technology in Bhopal. And Dr. Sudhakar won his award for a research paper on photovoltaics, a step towards addressing water and energy sustainability. Congratulations, sir. And our second award goes to Ms. Ruma Arora Soni, also from the Maulana Azad Institute in Bhopal. Please. Ms. Sonia's research topic was sustainable biomass production of microalgae for food, feed, and biofuels. Congratulations. And last but not least, we have Dr. K.V. Rashmi from the Sir M. Visvesvaraya, almost, Institute of Technology in Bangalore. And her research topic was the utility of DNA barcoding in understanding the taxonomy of mucuna species of India. Many congratulations to you all. And our second award is the Terry Press Photo Contest Award 2016. And this was run by Terra Green, Terry's excellent monthly environmental magazine. You've probably seen it, the displays of it out there. It's a cracking read. And this award was made possible by the sponsorship of Dalum Papers, and the winning prize being sponsored by the State Bank of Hyderabad, and Terry is very grateful indeed for that sponsorship. Now, the jury was made up of Terra Green's editorial team, and it was led by the international award-winning photographer Ranjan Basu. There were 300 entries in total. There were 30 shortlisted. They were all excellent, and we're now going to see a short presentation of the winning entries. Thank you very much for that. And now our next guest unfortunately cannot be with us in person, but he has sent a video address. Please welcome the Honorable Minister of Human Resource Development, Mr. Prakash Javadekar.
I am very happy to be with you through this video link because WSDS, launched by Terry in 2001, Delhi's Sustainable Development Summit, has really started a sustainability debate world over, and now world is also debating sustainable way of growth. We have no choice. The only way forward is sustainability, because we have exploited Mother Earth and Mother Nature to the hilt right from Industrial Revolution days, and therefore we are experiencing the climate change which we are experiencing today. The world has decided to limit it to up to 2 degrees Celsius, or even try to achieve 1.5 degree goal. It can be achieved, and I'm very happy that not only Paris summit succeeded and all the countries of the world joined it, but now its early entry into force by ratification, which will happen on 4th of November, is a landmark in human history on our way to achieve the sustainable goal. Because India, after US and China joined it, there was critical gap. Because for ratification, we need to cover the countries in number more than 50, that was already achieved. But we need to also cover the 55% of total emission of the world. And India joining was a major boost. So remaining countries also joined it, and now it's official that ratification will happen on 4th November. That's a very important resolve mankind has made to change its destiny. Because when Industrial Revolution started, the world was not knowing the side effects of it. The side effect of that Industrial Revolution and consistent emissions resulted in now what we are experiencing in Haiti, the severity of typhoons, hurricanes, floods, drought, the changes in monsoon cycles, rising sea levels, rising temperature, are all testimony to the global climate change, what is happening around us. India, under dynamic leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, is committed to walk the sustainable growth path. We believe that we are part of the same system, and so we have to nurture the nature, but simultaneously also develop. Some people think that development and climate protection, or what we can say nature's protection, are two different and exactly opposite to each other. We don't believe. Development and climate protection can be done simultaneously. We are a world with every day we are inventing newer things. India, with its resolve, has today 140 million LED bulbs are being used today in last 14 months. This has happened. So by next 2 years, we will reach nearly 700 million LED bulbs. That will save 20,000 megawatts. It will not just save 1 lakh crore of investments. It will be reduction in net emission. I think India's INDCs are robust, ambitious, and doable. We believe in things, what we can achieve. And therefore, all ministries, all departments, we are on mission mode. We have launched 8 missions to walk the sustainable development path. And that is why TERI is an important asset for us. It's a think tank for Government of India, one of the think tanks. Because TERI, under leadership of Ajay Mathur, who himself is an energy expert, really can bring changes, and we will also ensure justice for poor people. Poverty eradication is our main aim, and so growth is paramount. So our emissions will increase, but our energy intensity will reduce. our emission intensity will reduce, our mix of renewable energy will increase to 40%. So what we have said, India is reputed and build its prestige or standards that we walk the talk, and we want to walk the talk, and under able leadership of Narendra Modi. But now the developed world also needs to fulfill their promises. They are ratified post-2020 arrangement. But what about 16 to 20, pre-2020, 5 years, we can't waste. It can't be a climate action holiday. No, we have to take action. And the developed world needs to commit more strongly for these next 4 years so that they can really help in reducing the emission. Otherwise, the threshold at 2020, if we take it the same path up to 2020, it will not. And the fund mobilization, resources generation, helping smaller countries is all important. And we are sure that this time it will not be like a Kyoto where many of the countries, major emitters, walked out. This time everybody will remain united because that's a common resolve and it's our commitment to the future generation. And that's what we want to fulfill. And to that end, this seminar, though now I am not looking after environment, but education, will also include this new environmental consensus, new environmental conscience. We will create through and change the curriculum to create that environmental conscious, new alertness about environmental and sustainability. That's what we are making changes at our end, because this is all about future generation. So they must be taught properly, and for them we have to act today. And that's what this conference is all about. I will like from Ajay Mathur to know the gist of the recommendations, because this is my perennial interest. And my colleague Anil Dave, who is heading the Environment Ministry, will definitely lead it and take it forward with walking the talk and with India's resolve to be fulfilled. I am very sure that we will achieve our goal and world will walk in unison. Thank you and all the best.
We're very grateful indeed to the Honourable Minister. And now I believe we have the opportunity just to remind ourselves a little of what we've seen, heard and experienced over the last 4 days. Thanks very much. This will be the last time that I stand on this podium, so I have 2 things left to say. The first thing you've heard before, please surrender your voting devices to the Terry staff as you leave. And the second thing is just to thank you and thank Terry for giving me the huge privilege of emceeing you over the last 4 days. I've enjoyed it hugely, I've learned a great deal, and I've enjoyed particularly all the conversations and connections I've had with so many of you, so many in fact that I ran out of business cards on the very first day. But I do invite you, if you wish to connect with me, the easiest way is to follow me on Twitter. You can follow me at Martin Futures, as it said there, and I'd be delighted to hear from as many of you as possible. So on that note, thank you again to Terry, and now thank you. Thank you. And now I'm delighted to hand over to Dr. Matter for some closing remarks. Dr. Matter.
Well, first of all, thank you all very much. It has happened because all of you are here. I first want to thank Mr. Javadekar. He had to go to Pune, but said that in spite of the fact that he wouldn't be here, he would very much like to talk to us. He reached Pune, got a TV crew, made a video. We got it at 2 o'clock, and here it is. I thank him for his continued interest. I also thank him for his kind words. This particular WSDS, like the DSDSs before this, has been managed by a group of people both within TERI and an international steering committee which has provided the overall guidance. I want to thank all the members of the international steering committee. Arnie, is it still here? No. Suman? Okay. So we have had 5 members of the International Steering Committee have participated: Ambassador Arnie Walter, Dr. Suman Berry, Mr. Upen Tripathi, Mr. Ashok Lavasa, and Ms. Rachel Kite. To them and to all others, my sincere thanks, and I look forward to them helping us in ensuring that we have an interesting, a vibrant conference that helps us move on in the future. I also want to thank all our partners. We have had a stellar group of people who have provided us with support. These include, obviously, the ministries of Environment, Forest, and Climate Change, and the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. They include the Royal Norwegian Government and Embassy here, the Asian Development Bank, the World Bank, the Agency Française de Développement, our colleagues in from the US, Swedish governments, and the European Union, and our star corporate partner, Energy Efficiency Services Limited. There have also been a very large number of partners who have helped bring together the thematic tracks that you saw. You know, at this time when I was speaking, there was supposed to have been a scrolling of all of these names to give them our thanks. Thank you. What we have put together did garner interest even outside these halls. We have had, over the past few days, a huge amount of media coverage as well. And some of those collage that you see with us, there have been 50+ print articles, over 220 online articles, and there are more to come. The social media has been especially effective. As you reach out and people retweet and pass it on their Facebooks, it reaches out to more and more people. The number is actually in millions, in tens of millions. I mean, these numbers are so large that I wish they could be the kinds of money that Dinesh Sharma was hoping for the GCF. We also have had the privilege of having with us in the media colloquium colleagues, journalists from a number of countries, including Cameroon, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, and India. To all of them, my thanks. We have seen the reports that you have filed, that you are filing, and I hope that you will continue to report on environment, sustainable development, and both the challenges as well as the success stories that we see. We do need the actions of a few to become the actions of the most. And the only way they will be translated is through wide publicity, through wide dissemination of those efforts. Finally, I want to thank all my colleagues, each and everyone in TERI who has worked extremely hard to put this all together. I want to recognize the WSDS Secretariat team of Annapurna and her colleagues. And where are the rest of the people of the team? There's one. Why are you guys so embarrassed? You put up a good show. I also want to thank the team which brought the plenaries and the themes together, Amit and his team of rapporteurs, facilitators. The various facilitators, reporters, the people who arranged the thematic tracks, the plenaries. I also want to thank the team which made all of this actually happen. Sonal and her colleagues, and the entire logistics and administrative team. Everybody, I think, is part of that. Colonel Bhargav and his team who made the, there you are. Thank you all very much. And last but not least, the man who made it all come together. Martin, we are delighted to have you with us. I know that it's something close to your heart, and we would very much like to have you here again and again and again. So, I want to end with the words that Mr. Chawla used at the beginning. All good things must come to an end, and to which he added, because if they didn't come to an end, they wouldn't be good things. I also want to tell my TERI colleagues that I want to recognize the hard work, the amount of midnight oil they burnt. I used to get the copy of the newsletter at 1:30 every night. We will observe Monday the 10th as a closed holiday.